I'm back, just like I said I'd be back. It's time for the voicemail episode. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Better Late Than Never. Shit.
I'm not actually inside a women's prison at the moment.
The horniest just went up to like 11.
Good afternoon.
At least say a big you to Nick.
Tyler Yaremchuk must go to Cinco de Mayo.
Ty, why won't you kiss me?
Better late than never.
All right. Let's get to it. Let's turn it down. This is the second hour of Better Late Than Never of the week.
Better late than never.
Please enjoy my art, everybody. We had so many voicemails come in this week. I'm looking at probably 45 voicemails. So when I have that many, you know the rules. If you bore me, or you're boring what I think is boring the audience, we're moving on. It's cutthroat. It's cold. And while I always appreciate when you take time to send voicemails, ultimately, we're trying to be entertaining here, at least a little bit. A lot of shit's going down. Yesterday, Oilers did what they did. People still upset. If you cruise around Oilers Twitter, they're still upset. Add in the fact that, I mean, the worst news that happened yesterday, without a doubt, at least for me, was what's going on in Jasper right now. The township the town site, I should say, is basically on fire. Kind of myself, like a lot of other Albertans and probably other Canadians and people who have been to Jasper and love Jasper are following along with the updates. So it's a bummer, man. So if we can add a little bit of levity into our lives during a pretty dark couple of days overall, I think that's what I want to do. So if we're getting too in the weeds or things are getting too negative, I'll probably just move things along. But we'll see how this goes. Like I said, there's a lot of messages to be here or to get through. I'm going to do probably about another hour. So we'll see how this goes. But yeah, I have no idea what to expect. I imagine there's going to be people angry from yesterday. I imagine there's people going to be happy because there's some of these are almost a week old. We'll see what we get. It's going to be a mixed bag, but that's the voicemail, isn't it? That's the whole point of the bit. The voicemail is presented by the Oilers Nation Open out at Millwoods Golf Club on August 30th. Help us raise some money for Gregor's Grads. This is almost sold out. If you're waiting and you want to play, submit your team or submit yourself as a single or a couple of singles and be part of a mosaic team. Whatever it is that you're looking to do, make it fast because this is going to sell out. I tell you every year, procrastination is not your friend here when it comes to the Oilers Nation Open. Go to nationgear.ca, submit your team, submit yourself. Have a great day. It's the Friday leading into the long weekend. Come on. It's the Friday leading into the long weekend. August 30th out at Millwoods Golf Club. First, a voicemail comes in from an anonymous caller. Who be you, sir? Or lady?
Just a fucking quick question. Listening to that, I can't remember his name, fucking person. And he said he foregoed the burger at Wendy's or whatever. I'm no fucking language professor.
Go ahead.
But the word like foregoed is dumb, right? Shouldn't it be forewent? Huh? Like, I don't know. Maybe if Donkey Valley ever emerges from the pile of badger sex and dried, dehydrated pigeon foreskins, he'll be able to tell us. But
gross.
I don't know. Like, doesn't that make sense? Anyway, hi Ben, hope you're well. Oh, I misclicked. I went to hit stop and it didn't hit stop, so I'll try again. It'll probably stop now.
So I Googled it. According to Grammarly.com, in case you're wondering, the past tense of the verb forego is forewent. They forewent the walk and decided to go straight home. The past participle of forego is foregone. If you wanted to get healthier, you would have foregone cigarettes a long time ago. Those are the examples from Grammarly.com. I'm here to teach you something. I'm not just here to entertain you. I got a Google machine right beside me. Thankfully, Google has all the answers to the questions you could have Googled yourself. Thank you.
That's right, Google things yourself. Or leave voicemails for Bag Milk and he'll Google it for you.
There's Satan, always willing to chime in. Thank you for being here, Satan.
You're welcome, pal. Always happy to be here.
Mate, I just wrapping up, the most recent episode, and you're telling people to send in more voicemails. I just want to clarify, did you mean me?
Yeah, you.
Because, basically my entire job is attending meetings and giving people feedback on how their meetings can be more productive.
Okay.
And the feedback I get is that I talk too much. So given that I'm a fucking basically got a PhD in Better Late Than Never.
Yep.
Do you really want me to was that intended for me? Should I leave 87 fucking voicemails a week in the off season? I mean, I'm happy to, but it's not it's not Better Late Than Dukes or,
Could be.
Whatever. I don't know. I'm happy, mate. I'm happy to carry the load. You've seen all those times when I'm shit-faced and I slide in the DM saying, can I be on the podcast tomorrow? And they're ignored, rightfully so, because fuck, I wouldn't have me on my podcast. But, man, if you want content that is terrible, you know where to find me.
Listen, Dukes, not Dukes. I want you to leave more voicemails so that I don't have to do anything. I just want to push play and have you in control of the show. I know it's my show. I know it's my podcast. I know I'm in my house right now. But I think what I want is to just put my feet up, push buttons on the sound bar, and hope that you can carry the mail. I've done enough. I've already done a show this week. It was yesterday, and now I'm back. So Dukes, not Dukes. It's time for you to do your own thing. It's time for you to carry your weight here. Come on. Ben, what do you got to say?
Okay, so I just started listening to the newest episode of ONR, and I completely forgot that Jeff Jackson wasn't the GM. So that tells me that he's doing a really good job, because I always complain about the GM. I know I shouldn't. I didn't complain about Kenny that much this year. He did pretty good. But yeah, GM search, how about not Sam Bowman? I've said this before.
Well, Ben, sorry to cut you off there, but you're not going to be happy, pal. I know that came in a handful of days ago, but chances are you're not going to be very thrilled about what happened yesterday. I imagine there's more voicemails from you coming. Let's see what this next one is.
Yeah, so as I was saying, I got some bronchitis or whatever. Stupid.
Bronchitis? Hope you feel better, pal. Have some hot water and honey with lemon. I don't know if that helps bronchitis. Don't take medical advice from me.
That was my mom. But that's why I'm trying to play Fortnite. Or playing Fortnite. It's honestly not bad.
I've never played Fortnite.
I don't know why I'm playing it, but hey. I'm playing it anyway. But yeah. If I could wish for one thing in the NHL, I don't know. I just thought of this, and I thought it's a good question. What would you wish for? GM for a day, the Oilers do? But, let's not say something totally unrealistic. And I'm taking, re-signing Dry off limits, because that's kind of, obvious. I need to hear something creative. But, yeah, I personally think mine would be... What would it be? It would probably be trades. No, actually, it would be Jeff Jackson being the GM. That's it. But yes, that is it for me for this one. Yeah.
Dave, I'm being honest, I wasn't paying attention to anything you said, Ben. It wasn't your fault. I was getting another update on Jasper. Do you follow Courtney Terrio on Twitter? X, whatever it is? He's the guy to follow and has been for a while. So this update, as I'm, it's 5:30 on Thursday. At approximately, and I quote, this is from the Jasper Park Lodge, the JPL. If you've ever been, it's one of the greatest resort/hotels ever. And I quote, at approximately 10 p.m. on July 22nd, the municipality of Jasper declared a state of emergency. Residents and visitors of Jasper were ordered to evacuate the area due to nearby wildfire, and the Fairmont Jasper Park Lodge was successfully and safely evacuated. Though the extent of the damage by the wildfires is still being assessed, the community is certainly faced with loss, and our hearts go out to everyone impacted. Our appreciation for the continued dedication of the first responders and those coming to Jasper Township's aid cannot be fully expressed. We are sending wishes of safety and strength. They continue. We are able to confirm that though the hotel did incur fire damages, most of the Fairmont Jasper Park Lodge structures, including the main lodge, remain standing and intact. While we will need time to assess the full scale of the damage and the timelines required to repair and restore, we are deeply relieved that much of the property was spared and the resort will reopen in the future. For those of you with upcoming reservations, our reservations team is currently processing cancellations for the resort, the golf course, the spa and dining reservations for the coming days. You will receive a cancellation notice. Finally, we would like to commend our Fairmont Jasper Park Lodge management, staff, and guests for their swift and orderly evacuation, and many individuals and organizations who are providing assistance, care, and relief for those who have been displaced. We are deeply committed to supporting our colleagues and the Jasper community as we work together to return and rebuild. Great news. That's great news from the JPL. I am completely distracted. So, Ben, whatever you said, I agree, probably. I heard you say something about Fortnite. I think that's good. I've never played. I don't know.
Okay, so I figured out why the Oilers God damn,
Gross.
traded Bourgault. And how it was another Jeff Jackson masterclass. So we got 2 players with fancy names. Actually 3. So Jake Chiasson, maybe Chiasson, who knows? Pretty good name. Then we got Xavier Bergeau. That is a really cool name. But then, so we pretty much traded names for names. Like, those 2, probably a good deal if you have those 2.
Well, I mean, like Jake Chiasson also went with Xavier Bourgault for Roni Yum 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 Yum. I don't remember what his last name is. I haven't learned the prospect system yet, Ben. Leave me alone, all right? Too much heavy-hitting Ben questions and analysis for a day where I'm completely distracted. You know? Anonymous caller, what do you guys say?
So the logic behind the potatoes is I've been eating way too much fast food.
What the fuck are we talking about? It's Potato Chad checking in. The logic behind the potatoes. I don't remember what we're talking about. I will try to bring my memories back from the depths of my brain. I don't know what you're talking about.
I've been working way too much and I haven't really been cooking. So I was like, okay, I need something to eat like now. Like I'm hungry now. I got to eat. So go get a couple potatoes. It's basically...
Oh, now I remember. Chad goes to Wendy's to get potatoes and then he goes home to make a different part of his meal. Okay, now I'm with you. Now I remember. Gotcha.
Like guilt-free because it's a fucking potato. And then you go home and you cook your bullshit. So yeah, normally I wouldn't do that. If I was going all out, I'm getting like a JBC to probably like an Asiago chicken sandwich. Oh my god, delicious!
Fancy boy.
And then like fries and yeah, probably a Frosty. And here's the pro move: you put the fries in the chicken sandwich. Don't knock it until you try it. It's amazing. You got to do it. But I've been on a chicken burger kick for a little bit here, and there's a place by my house called Sal's Famous, and they do a buffalo chicken burger that is stupid good. It's ridiculous. So I've been getting that, honest to God, probably like every third day for like 2 weeks now. And I need to not do that. So, That's the potato thing. The raviolis, Costco. Oh, you asked about the carts. Yeah, people are stupid everywhere. It's getting worse. I feel you on that.
Yeah, I was talking about the worst thing at grocery stores is just the disregard for carts. I was at Costco a couple weeks ago and just they're leaving their carts everywhere. Sometimes the one that really annoyed me was, now Chad is just annoying me again. It was perpendicular to the aisle. It wasn't even facing the flow of traffic, blocking the road. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Another anonymous caller. Who be you?
Do I remember this correctly? Do you do the scary movie thing? I feel like during October you were saying how you were watching scary movies. Anyways, it's not really a horror movie. Some people probably would call it one, but I saw Silence of the Lambs for the first time.
Really?
Somehow I haven't seen it, and it was pretty good. Held up pretty well over, like 32 years it's been out. And then prior to that, I think on Saturday, I went and saw the new horror movie called Longlegs, and it was actually really good. It's not what I would call like scary. Some people, how the ads were the scariest movie of the last decade. Like, no.
So scary you'll shit your pants in the theater, probably.
It's not that scary, but it was really well done. It was really good. More thrillery. They don't give it away in the ad campaign, but you find out who the villain is, who plays the villain pretty early on in the movie. He nailed it. He played the role so well. There's a couple scenes that are like ones that'll kind of stick with you. It was awesome. I'd recommend seeing it. Maybe one time I'll chime in with my like top 5 or top 10 scary movies, something like that.
That'd be really nice. That'd be really, really nice. And I was watching horror movies around Halloween. I'm not generally a horror movie person. It's not that I don't like them or that they scare me or that they're not a genre I'm into, but for the most part, they don't register as my first option, if that makes sense. Like if I'm going to sit down and watch a movie, chances are it's going to be, is there a documentary I want to watch? I talk about documentaries on this podcast all the time. You know how I love documentaries. Is there a comedy to watch? Is there a stand-up special to watch? That's kind of where my head goes. But yeah, around Halloween, I'll watch scary movies. Sure. My favorite scary movie, I guess, is probably It. Is that even scary, though? I don't know that it's necessarily scary. I just think Pennywise is cool. Especially the new one. The way they did the effects on it, it's fucking awesome. Plus the book's fun. I don't know. DA, you were up next. DA.
Hey, BM.
What's up?
So, the name's DA. I'm a first-time caller, and hopefully I'll have many more in the future. But
please do.
I'm a long-time listener, and I just got finished listening to the latest episode. But down to brass tacks. So I'm calling about the Ono golf tourney.
Yeah, let's talk.
And initially, when I heard about the tournament, I was trying to get a team together. But, when my buddies heard that it was going to be 300 bones per person to go play a round of golf, a couple of them were little bitches and decided it was a little bit too rich for them.
Understandable.
Now, I'm still looking to register for myself as a single because, I love me a day on the links.
Sure.
And a day on the links with the ON crew sounds even more fun.
Mm-hmm.
But what I want to know is if I'm going to spend 300 bones on a round of golf, I want to know what else you can tell me about what it's like to play in an Ono golf tournament. Is it stroke play, best ball, scramble? Can you tease me on some of the prizes, or is there going to be any interesting, games or anything? Just, want to know what my 300 bones is getting me.
Sure.
And want to know, make sure that I'm making a good investment here.
Sure.
Cheers, BM.
Well, no problem. DA, happy to help here. So the most important thing about the Oilers Nation Open is that we're raising money for Gregor's Grads. So if you don't know what Gregor's Grads is, really quickly and briefly, it's part of the Jason Gregor Foundation. And what it is it takes all kinds of graduates into Dirk's Formals and it gets them fitted with the suit for grad. Now, a lot of us, myself included, I had a suit for grad. It was something that I didn't really think about, because I was very fortunate in that my old man was like, yeah, go get a suit as your grad. Like, Go rent one, go rent a tux or whatever. Some people aren't that fortunate and they don't have the opportunity to do that. So Gregor started Gregor's Grads as a means of getting all these kids suited up for grad. The nice part about it is it's not just for the one night that they get to keep that suit, they get to keep it going forward. So we're trying to raise as much money for Gregor's Grads as possible so that we can afford the highest number of suits possible. Right? So what we got is an 8 a.m. shotgun start. It is a scramble. You know, what we've got is a bunch of prizes, including you get a swag bag when you sign up. There's a banquet that follows the round. You are going to have activations at basically every hole. So whether we're talking about a drink hole or whether we're talking about a food hole or whether we're talking about a hole that has a game on it for entry to win prizes, we kind of got a mix of everything in there. We try to make it as busy of a day for you as possible, not just to play the round of golf, but to also make sure that you're engaged and having a good time. From there, you're also going to have an opportunity to win some prizes. So there's things like the longest drive. There's things like, I'm trying to remember all the prizes we give away. There's best team. There's worst team of the day. There's a best dressed team of the day that gets prizes. You're also going to be entered to win a bunch of raffles. So like the raffle prizes have been jerseys. They've been framed photos. They've been, we've given away golf clubs. We've given away game tickets. We've given away, I mean, anything you can think of that's kind of hockey adjacent, we've given it away. We've given away weekends in the mountains. I'm thinking of course, of our friends in Jasper and the Jasper Park Lodge. We've done that in the past. We've given away car leases. So long story short, the prizes are plentiful. The prizes are pretty awesome, and there's a lot of them. But again, the big point of the price point and the entry point for this is to raise money for Gregor's Grads, and that's really what it's all about. So I hope, DA, that you want to come out to Millwoods Golf Club on August 30th, and I hope you want to do it because it really is a great day. You get to meet a bunch of the nation staff, so whoever you're into meeting is going to be there. You get to hang out a little bit. We get to tell some stories. We just get to spend the day together. And I think for a lot of people who come year after year, the whole day is the experience, right? You get to meet some of the coolest people that you've never met before on the internet. You get to meet, you want to meet Tyler and have a drink with Tyler. Tyler will do that. You want to meet me and have a drink with me, we'll do that. Like, we're all there. Gang's all there. Because we're all there to support Gregor's Grads. And there's always interesting ways to interact with the staff and at the course and the folks at Millwoods Golf Club. They just do a fantastic job of it. So if you can make it, if you're able to do it, we'd love to have you. But what I will say is it's almost sold out. So if you want to join, even as a single, get your entry in. DA, you got another message.
Hey, BM. It's DA again.
What's up?
Another question about the golf tournament that I forgot to mention in my last one.
Sure.
But are you playing in the golf tournament? Because if you are, I would love to play around with you, especially being a single. Don't know what it would be to do that, but that would definitely convince me to spend the money to come out and play in the golf tournament. Because you sound like a fun guy to play golf with.
I am fun.
Cheers.
No, I'm actually not playing. So what I do is I'll grab somebody, usually a nation staffer. Like today on Real Life, we were talking about Pat Puff. He doesn't know what his job is. I'm like, well, hang out with me. What I like to do is I steal a cart. I don't steal it. They give it to me. I take a cart and I cruise around the course all day. My job is to interact. My job is to meet people. My job is to be bag milk, but like not the guy hidden on the internet. A lot of people want to hang out, meet, and just even have a drink or just bullshit for a minute and say hi. And this is one of those opportunities to do it. So my job essentially is, no, I don't golf, but it is a 100% chance if you are at the tournament, you'll see me. We'll meet, we'll chat, we'll say hi. Some people let me take swings for regardless of where they're at. They'll go, Bag Milk, you want to take a swing off the tee? You know I do. So my role at the golf tournament is not to golf because then I'm kind of sectioned off from everybody else as part of my own team. My job is to kind of cruise around. If Gregor needs something, I'll go get it for him. You need a lift back to the chalet, you hop in with Bag Milk. I'll bring you back, or not the chalet, the clubhouse. So that's kind of what I do on golf tournament days. And for me, it's a blast. It is one of those things where I get to have my cocktails. I get to drive around in a golf cart. I get to hang out outside. Get to hang out with some cool people that I've never met. I just get to have fun and just see what the tournament means to everybody. So probably not the selling point you were looking for, but probably a better way to interact during a golf tournament day, because I just cruise around. You'll probably, over the course of the 18 holes, you'll see me a handful of times because I just do laps around the course, saying hi. What's up? That's kind of what I do. Does that make sense? Frank's Chew Toy is up. Frank's Chew Toy. What do you got to say?
G'day, Bag Milk. How are you going? That's heaps good. I had a thought that I don't know when it first came to mind, but anyway, I should probably I'm already 13 seconds in, so I should probably just get to the fucking point. Because I never ramble on, so this is out of character.
No, never.
I was thinking, right, like the English Premier League, right?
Mm-hmm.
Each team has 3 jerseys, like the home, the away, the alternate. Whatever, all good. But if it's a big game and the colours don't clash, so like Chelsea versus Arsenal or the 2 Manchesters,
yep,
opposite colours, red, blue, whatever, they both wear their home kit. And so like all the pitches and all whatever happens during that game, they're wearing the home kit.
Okay.
Do you think, like, in hockey that could be a thing? If there's a clash, you wear your away or your alternate, whatever, I don't give a fuck. But like, say for like Battle of Alberta, imagine the Battle of Alberta if both teams got to wear their home jerseys, like all the pitches, all the whatever. I don't know. I just feel like they'd be like a little bit better, you know, like McDavid's highlight when he scored that goal to eliminate Calgary.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine if he was wearing blue and copper or orange or whatever the fuck cunts call it. I don't know. Anyway, thanks. I'll hang up and listen.
I've also thought of this. Dukes, you and I, once again, we're aligned, buddy. We are aligned. I've wondered that. Like, I like the crispy white Oilers road jerseys. I do. However, the blue and orange are classics. Those things are, in my humble opinion, perfect. You can't get a better jersey set. I almost burped there. Now I did. You can't get a better jersey set kit than what the Oilers have for their home game. So I'd love to see it, Dukes. I remember once upon a time, I guess this would have been the 90s, I suppose, the home team always wore white. And when they swapped it for the away team to wear white, I was like, what's going on? The home team always wears white. And then it clicks in your brain. It goes, oh, that's because the dark jerseys are always more interesting. They're always nicer. So I understand it. But I'm with you. I think that teams should be able to choose what they wear. I think that if the Oilers are in blue and orange and the Flams are in red, we all know who's who. There's no clash there. We're just Bloods versus Crips at that point. You know, pick a side. Ride or die, motherfuckers. I'm with you, Dukes. I love it. I think you're right. This says Broncos country, let's ride. So I'm going to guess this is Nick.
KBM, I listened to Real Life. You are in the market for an NFL team.
Yes.
Let me make a pitch to you for the Denver Broncos.
Okay.
First of all, Broncos have a storied history.
They do.
That's always important.
Yep.
Secondly, do you like hot cowgirls? Because the Broncos cheerleaders, chef's kiss, hot cowgirls all day. But I'm not going to sugarcoat this, man. The Denver Broncos are a bad, bad, bad football team. They suck ass.
Yeah.
They've sucked ass for a while, and they're probably going to suck ass for a little bit more. But if I was in your shoes and I'm looking, okay, I want to get a team, I think I would want to choose a team that sucks ass. Because, you know, yeah, they suck ass now, but eventually they'll be good. And you know what?
Mm-hmm.
That success is going to be all the sweeter because you were a fan through the shits.
Yes.
Like
Understood.
the Decade of Darkness Oilers.
Understood.
We've got some fun young players, man. Pat Surtain is the best cornerback in the league. We just drafted, hopefully, our future quarterback, Bo Nix. Some, you know, flashy offensive weapons. You like fast black dudes, Marvin Mims Jr. Like, there's some... We're a young team.
Weird way to describe it.
But I think there's a lot of promise. I think there's promise, and I think there's a future here. So if you want to get in now, get in before the bandwagoners. Now's your time. Go Broncos.
So part of what I want to touch on there is, I'm not interested in jumping on a bandwagon of a really good team. So a lot of people have recommended the 49ers to me. To me, they check off a lot of my boxes. Cool uniforms. Destination city. I think it'd be cool to go to San Francisco or wherever they play. I know they don't play actually in San Francisco, but I think it'd be cool. I think that they've got young talent. I think that they've got a promising future, but they've also got Super Bowl aspirations. That's why I don't know that I can pick them. It's the same reason why I could never pick the Kansas City Chiefs right now. They're too good. They're too good. Travis Kelce, one of the best tight ends. Patrick Mahomes, legit. But they're winning. They're winning all the time, it seems like. And that's why a team like that, I don't know that I could pick them. But for the Broncos, I drive a Bronco. I named it Peyton Manning. He was a great Bronco. We know this. So could they be on the list? Could they be an option? The Denver Broncos? Yeah. I could also get a direct flight from Edmonton to Denver. That matters. All of these things are going to factor in, Nick. All of these things are factoring in. This one comes in from Nicholas. Is it the same Nick? Spelled differently. Nicholas?
Okay, Big Milk. I know
Oh,
you're
he's
a big
back.
reality TV fan.
Yes, I am.
And, Big Brother. I've watched one episode of Big Brother and I never watched it again. I don't understand that show. I don't care to understand that show. It makes no goddamn sense to me.
I will stop you momentarily. There's not a whole lot to understand, really. Somebody wins the head of household competition. They nominate people. People vote them out. The cycle repeats itself. I don't know what you don't understand. It's not that hard of a game. Anyway, back to you.
That being said, the one reality show I do like is The Amazing Race Canada. Now, the American Amazing Race, I don't give two fucks about. There's just something about the Canadian one, it being summertime and, late on a Tuesday. I love The Amazing Race Canada, and this season has been awesome. So if you're looking for a show, I highly recommend The Amazing Race Canada. I mean, it's only 3 episodes in, and there's some real compelling teams here. Like, Brad May, like, Mayday, Mayday, Brad May wins it in overtime. He's on there. He's a team with his daughter, who I might add is a fucking rocket. There are these 2 girls, Lauren and Nicole. Both of them are rockets. Holy shit. There's these 2 baseball guys, Michael and Jordan. They seem really promising, but they keep fucking up every challenge. Like, they lost all... How the hell do you lose all your money? There's this guy, Kevin and Gerline. I think he won they said he won Big Brother at one point. That dude's ruthless. I can't stand him. I want to see that guy get eliminated. But there's a lot of drama. There's a lot of potential for drama. And you know what? Season's early. You can still get in now. Go Amazing Race. Yo.
I've never watched The Amazing Race, so when you're talking about losing all their money, that I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what that means. I've tried to watch The Amazing Race before, but I didn't care. And maybe it's just because I didn't really know what was happening. I think I might have jumped in like a couple episodes in as opposed to starting at the beginning. Dumb, I know. I'm not the smartest person. I'd be willing to give it a try. But when I talk about reality shows, I tend to, Big Brother aside, I tend to lean towards dating shows because I'm into it for the shitty people. If the people are too good and there's no kind of like tomfoolery and fuckery, then what are we even doing here? I'd give it a try though, Nick. I'm not opposed to it. Ari, you're up.
I hear you're looking for.
Oh my lord. Why did that happen? Okay. We adjust. We adjust this. We adjust that. Ari, I'm back to you.
I hear you're looking for a football team, Bag Milk. So
Yes,
I have
sir.
2 football teams.
Go ahead.
One is Manchester City. So we won the Champions League last year.
No.
And we've got like Erling Haaland on our
Ari.
team. He's one of the best strikers in the entire
Ari,
world.
I don't want
My
soccer.
second is Real Madrid. We won the Champions League this year, and we just got Mbappe. So like that's another good option. I recommend Manchester City first over Madrid. Honestly, that's my favorite one.
If I cared about soccer / football, then, we could have a conversation. When I was traveling and I was overseas, all the friends I made over there were English. So I guess it would have been, what is it, Friday night or Saturday night? I don't remember now. Saturday night, I think. Anyway, we would always watch soccer/football. And I got into it with them in that period of time because they were so into it that I kind of got, intoxicated by it. I didn't want the FOMO. I loved the idea of being in the mix. However, these days, that was a long time ago. So, Ari, I don't really care about it. Although, like I said, when Canada lost in the Copas in the semifinal, it's the most soccer I've watched in ages because the Canadian team has been good. So maybe that'll change in time, Ari. Maybe that'll change in time. But today, I don't think so. Anonymous, who be you?
I'm sorry, but when someone says football, I'm talking about the beautiful game, the world's game, not the sport where they run around with the ball in their hands for 95% of the game and they only kick it for a field goal. That's not football. That's American football. Okay, so if you're looking for an NFL team bag milk, I recommend 2 teams. One, the Cowboys.
No.
The Cowboys, right? And also the Chiefs.
No on both counts.
Thumbs up.
No
Everyone
on
loves
both counts.
bandwagoning.
I don't like bandwagoning. Dallas Cowboys to me are the Toronto Maple Leafs of the NFL. They're like one of those teams where I was like, yeah, it's America's team. I toured their stadium when I was in Dallas for the playoffs. It's cool. It's big. I went in the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders dressing room. That was cool. But to me, I think that they're the Maple Leafs of the NFL, and I can't subscribe to that. I cannot subscribe to that. I just can't. I can't. Kyle, you're up.
Hey, BM. So I just wanted to clear the record up. So last week, of course, I left the money. Now, I just want to say, yes, maybe she stole money from your wallet, but an e-transfer was sent prior to any money shenanigans. So from my part, I didn't steal money from you. Money was sent, transaction was taken care of, execution was a failure. But I will say Waz's mission, he did well. I don't think he could have snuck those into a theater, but I'm glad that the Nation office got to have snacks. And seeing pictures of Waz eating saltines was interesting because saltines are pretty hard to eat when you have you don't have anything to drink. And coconut milk's not going to make that any better, but I will give Waz a 9 out of 10.
I would agree.
Would sponsor again. Maybe I will in a couple weeks. We'll see what happens. In the meantime, we will talk to you again.
The plot thickens. So Kyle the Embalmer says he sent an e-transfer, and yet none of that came my way. So what I see here, Kyle, is the missus. She just straight up kept that money. She straight up kept it. I saw none of it. Now we've got shenanigans to deal with. Shenanigans, Kyle. It's ridiculous.
Mate, I don't know if you believe this, but I've had an idea.
Go ahead.
Right. A few weeks back on Bullet Nation Everyday live with Taylor Yaremchuk at 12 Mountain, Bullet Nation 3 days a week. Anyway, I'm fucking wasting time. You know how he gave Liam that gift and was like, "Will you be a groomsman?" It was really nice moment. I know mine's in the mail, and I know that Tyler would have only paid for the standard shipping, so it'll be a while. But what I was thinking is for the Bucks party, right? I mean, the Gold Coast. It's like if you bought Miami from Wish.com. But just say hypothetically, if the nation started you've got the different teams and the different, Flames Nation and all that kind of shit. Mm-hmm. Quads Army for that AHL team in Vancouver.
Thank you.
Why don't you just say, "Hey Jay, I think we need to start Brisbane Lightning Nation," and that way you can all come down to the Gold Coast for Tyler's Bucks party. But it's, put it on Jay's credit card because it's a work trip, baby. You're here to watch the Lightning. I don't know. Just something to think about. But anyway, fuck Donkey Volley.
So
if you're a Badger, I guess.
So I've been actually Behind the scenes, I've been pretty busy kind of planning some next year stuff and working on some other things for the network that are coming down the pipe. So I actually didn't hear that Tyler asked Liam to be a groomsman. And now I feel like I'm jealous.
I would be so upset if I was you.
Why?
I mean, yeah, those two went to Nate together, but let's think this through here.
Go ahead.
You gave Tyler his job at Oilers Nation. Oilers Nation every day doesn't exist without you.
That is true.
You've also spent countless time with him on the road. You've also been the guy who's always been there for Tyler, and yet no invitation for you.
I am noticing that. I find that when it comes to Tyler's life, I'm only there when it's convenient.
I wasn't going to say it, but ultimately that is exactly what's happening. You are not convenient to him at this point in his wedding. I'm going to be surprised if you even get that invitation he promised you. Quite frankly, I'm going to predict this now.
Go ahead.
I'm going to predict that there's going to come a time when he goes, oh, well, we had like a capacity issue at the venue and we had to make some cuts and unfortunately you didn't make it.
I don't think he would do that to me.
Well, I'm predicting it. I'm assuming that's what's going to happen because I've seen the future and I can read his mind. And let me tell you, outside of the dark thoughts he has in there, he's trying to figure out how to break your heart. He spends a big chunk of his time doing that. A big chunk.
I choose to believe that's not true. I choose to believe that is not true. Ben?
Okay, a quick thing about, you know who, Donald Duck and Donald getting pew-pewed. So apparently there was this thing.
Donald, I'm getting pew-pewed. Holy shit. What is going on with kids these days? Ben, I'm going to need you to put a nickel in the swear jar for that one, even though you didn't swear.
Admittedly, I saw it on TikTok, but it was part of like a trial. Could be legit. Easily could not be. But, like this guy was saying they like recreated it, and it was like 14 out of the 15 shots with an AR, like metaphorically because they recreated it, would have hit Donald, and the one he missed would have like hit him in the air. So that guy was a horrible shot.
Jesus, Ben. You know, when I was Ben's age, I had dial-up internet, so I couldn't watch all these videos. High speed wasn't really a thing. Yes, I'm old, Ben. I'm old.
He's old.
And it's amazing what kids get to see on the internet these days. It just really is, you know? Wow. Okay, anonymous caller, who'd be you? Dukes again?
All right, this is more of a directed at real life. The new host of Real Life is actually entertaining, even if he's a fucking weird cunt. But that Real Life parenting episode, I just felt like, you know, when I eventually move over there, which who the fuck knows when that's going to be, whatever,
sure.
I don't know. Okay. We say like, yeah, he kind of likes when his kids get into fights. Man, for the sake of like, human development.
If you don't listen to Real Life, essentially Chalmers was saying that when his kids kind of like play fight and get after it, he's not quick to stop them unless it gets out of hand, because it teaches them, you know, how to be physical and to be prepared for that kind of shenanigans should they encounter it later in life. And it was an interesting conversation. He goes, I don't let them punch and kick each other, but like anything before that, kind of, you know, you let it go. So Duke's like, I don't know what you're getting at, but I'm very eager to find out.
I will happily fight if any of you guys have like, you know, early teen sons. I will happily fight them. I'll happily beat the shit out of your children for the sake of their development. Specifically, if your last name is Chalmers.
Oh, no.
But maybe, like, I'll extend it to other people. Like, you know, I don't discriminate. But, you know, like, yeah, if you want me to come and fight your early teen children for the sake of their development, I'm happy to punch the shit out of some kids. And I didn't steal Chalmers' bike, for the record, but I really wish I did. I really wish that was me.
You got a lot of inside baseball on there from real life. So if you don't listen to it, Chalmers won. I said the thing with the kids. Dukes is volunteering to beat the shit out of them. I think that's very noble. I think that's very generous of you. 2, Chalmers had his bike stolen from his garage during a party. And when he kind of reported it, the cops went, "Meh." It's like, I got him on video. And they were like, "Meh, you're never going to find it."
I'll say, Dukes. Let me line them up, Dukes. Put up your Dukes against Quads. Big Quads is gonna fight Little Dukes. Oh, you think you're a big bad Australian? Wait till you see the likes of me, hombre.
I've never heard Quad say hombre. I don't know how that came into his head.
I don't know why anything you say as this filter comes into your head, if I'm being honest. I don't even sound like this. Everybody tells me that you always do impressions of me on this show, and that's not what I talk about. That's not what I talk like. Listen to Canucks Conversation. It is a great podcast about a very poor NHL team.
Anyway, this next one comes in from, another one from Ben. Ben, what do you got to say? This time watching, he's going to be like, I ordered a bazooka on Amazon or some shit like that. Who knows with this guy?
Why did you do this, Oilers? It just makes McDavid answer stupid questions. It's really not worth it. Even if they win the cup next year, I'll eat my Warriors or whatever and blah, blah, blah. But this is incredibly embarrassing for Oilers fans because, you really think McDavid and Dry want this drama? I don't know. Maybe they will. I won't talk about that further because I don't want to say anything out to the world, so bye.
Yeah, I mean, I talked about it at length yesterday, but the Stan Bowman hiring is still not popular. I talked about it on my hit with Low Tide today. We talked about it on Real Life between Wanya and I. It's just one of those moves where I don't understand the logic. Surely there had to be a candidate that was qualified for the role that doesn't bring this kind of baggage. Right? Surely. This one comes in from the next Jojo Siwa. Lest anybody think I can't imagine it's actually Jojo Siwa, but it's the next Jojo Siwa. So we'll see.
Karma's a bitch. I should have known. Better late than never. A podcast where Big Milk talks about the Oilers and any random shit his viewers bring up.
That is true. Shout out to Nate. He nailed it. That's the whole show. That's the show right there in a nutshell. I talk about the Oilers sometimes and whatever shit you guys bring up. Sometimes dating shows. Sometimes you ask dating advice. Although that was last offseason, I'm happy that we made it almost pretty much a full year without. So, sad boys, lonely boys, we don't want to hear from you. Although I kind of do. I want to give you some bad advice. Podcasting fashion. Anonymous caller, who be you?
So, yeah, news came out. Stan Bowman's GM. And the internet's on fire about it.
It really is.
So, do you think that Jeff Jackson did this without the approval of the leadership group and, McDavid? I would be really surprised if he had said, hey, Connor, new GM, Stan Bowman, good luck. I feel like, they would have had to sit down and been like, obviously we all know what happened. Are you okay with this? Like, we're trying to get you to sign here long term. This is part of some of that long term anyways. Are you okay with this? And I feel like everybody would have to be on board with this. I don't know. And obviously the guy, whatever you want to call it, lapse in judgment, whatever. If this brings us a cup, then I guess I'm okay with it. People make mistakes. Some people make really bad mistakes, and a lot of the people that are really, really, really pissed about this have probably made some really bad mistakes themselves. So I don't know. We're obviously going to hear your thoughts here. So yeah, I'm curious.
So Jeff Jackson, if you take him at his word, I don't. He said he did not consult any of the players on the decision. I don't know that I buy that. I don't buy it. That's the answer. I don't buy it.
Yeah, I mean, he just lied straight through his teeth. He also made his social media private, and that doesn't sound like a guy who doesn't care about the fan reaction.
So yeah, I mean, they probably knew, but like at the other end, if your boss tells you this is what they're doing, and they go, no, he's probably, at least most cases, not going to be changing his mind, right? If you follow the breadcrumbs left by the insiders, it seemed like Stan Bowman was always going to be his guy. So I don't know. I mean, July 1st, they got reinstated, the three of them. There was Bowman, there was Quenneville, and there was the third guy. I don't remember his name off the top of my head. But when they got reinstated, Bowman was tied to the Oilers immediately. So that tells me that this had been in Jeff Jackson's head long before that. They probably even had conversations about it beforehand. I don't know, man, whether or not the players knew, I have no idea. But ultimately, I think that even if they did care, it probably wouldn't have mattered. We saw how much the fan base cares, and it really didn't matter. So I don't know. I mean, part of being a boss sometimes is making the decision you think is the right one, whether or not it's popular. I get that. I personally wouldn't have hired Stan Bowman. I don't like our team being tied to what he's tied to and the baggage that he brings with him. But again, nobody cares what I think. I'm just a fan of the little platform, a little podcast in my basement. But it's going to be interesting to see, right? Like I talked about this with Low Tide today, and the pressure is really on Bowman, not just to prove that he's changed and all the words that he said yesterday isn't a bunch of bullshit, but also that he can push this team forward and close the chapter out on this book. Because right now we've got empty pages at the back half of this Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl story that needs a Stanley Cup or two. We were right there. Can't get closer without winning it, outside of going to overtime, I suppose. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. What's done is done. Like, as much as people are upset about it, the decision's made and it probably isn't changing. So I guess we learn to live with it is really the only thing that you can say. Like, what else are you supposed to say? Do I agree? No. Would I have gone somebody else? Yeah. Probably a long list of people before him. But again, Jeff Jackson doesn't give a fuck. He said it yesterday. The quote that blew up the most when I transcribed the press conference was when Jeff Jackson says, fans have opinions about a lot of things. I'm not really worried about it. Or I'm paraphrasing, but like, that's the one that blew up the most. They showed that they don't care what fans think. They showed it. They showed it. Anonymous caller, who be you?
Okay. Okay. If they hired Bowman, I was going to make this voicemail, but here we are. So my question is, that first press conference that they do with the media, the questions aren't going to be about hockey. They're going to be about sexual abuse, and
they were, all of them. The most of the press conference was about his history in Chicago
and the power of silence, pretty much. You know, is Stan Bowman really that worth it? Is he that good of a general manager?
No, not in my opinion. That's kind of the whole point I was getting at yesterday and today, and whenever I talk about it is, yeah, you won cups, but you could argue Dale Talon set the foundation for that team that won those cups. It wasn't Stan Bowman. And you could also argue that as his career in Chicago went along, a lot of the moves he made were disastrous to the franchise. To me, my direct comparable here is Peter Chiarelli. Peter Chiarelli won a cup in Boston. Then he came here. Then what happened?
Go through all of that and look so bad. Really? In their eyes, right? Which, by the way, he's not. He inherited all those pieces from Chicago and then just kind of like stuck them on the board. So like he made pretty poor trades and signings. It's like, it feels like Ken Holland when you look at his track record. Best way I can put it, an unforced error, and after a really, really good offseason, yeah, it doesn't look so good anymore.
It really was. I mean, an unforced error is probably the best way you could put it. You know, that's ultimately I mean, that's the best way to put it, I think. Like, there's no other way to put it, I think. But again, the organization doesn't care what we think as long as we're buying tickets and merch. Who gives a fuck, right?
And the saddest thing of all, I think, is the players are going to get asked about this shit when they most likely had nothing to do with it.
Yep.
Unless they were asked for their approval in hiring Bowman, and that's a different story. But yeah, I think that's the saddest thing of all.
I think that...
Shame. Real shame.
It is a shame. The word that I use for it is noise. There's so much noise now, as opposed to if they had hired literally anyone else. Players are going to have to answer probably multiple times in multiple cities. It's just annoying. It's noise. It's a distraction that nobody needed. Nobody needed it. And the thing that really stuck out to me again was Jeff Jackson doesn't give a fuck. And part of me respects it. And then part of me goes, what are you doing, dude? You don't even live in the city. You don't even live here. We were so pumped with this guy when free agency kicked off. And then he just kind of like, you ever see that picture? It's of a horse where the back half of the horse is beautifully drawn. And it's realistic. And then as you move to the front of the horse, the head, it turns into a stick figure drawing. That's the Oilers offseason vibes. Started off beautiful, started off exciting, started off awesome. And then it turned into a stick figure horse head. And that's Jeff Jackson's fault. And, he set up a bunch of people in his organization to have really bad days yesterday. He also set up a bunch of people that cheer for the franchise to probably be triggered in a very real way. Sad, and it's disappointing. He fumbled it bad, in my opinion. Again, you got to see how it goes and blah, blah, blah. The decision's been made and it's not changing. But in my opinion, he fumbled it pretty bad. Whoa. It's like when the voicemail starts off with a loud sound that weird chirping kicks in. So I'm going to turn this down because, again, I'm thinking about my fine folks from the audio department helping me out. Let's try it again.
Oilers fans be like, hire anybody but Stan Bowman. Jeff Jackson be like, I think I'm going to hire Stan Bowman.
Pretty much. It was kind of like, don't hire that guy. Hire literally anybody else. And he's just like, nah, fuck you.
Yo, what a band blast voicemail. Might not get in. Just so you know, I didn't watch the Stan Bowman press conference. I'm guessing you're gonna report on that a bit. But yeah, see ya.
Yeah, I did that in yesterday's episode. So, Ben, I know that came in probably yesterday in hopes of the show, but just go listen to yesterday's. I kind of walked through it. But yeah, it was, again, a lot of it was about his history in Chicago. There wasn't a whole lot about what's going forward. There's a whole lot about what he did or didn't do. And, it was ultimately disappointing, to be honest. This one's Riley.
Big Milk.
Hello.
What is good?
What's up?
Well, I'll tell you what's not. The hiring of Stan Bowman. Why? Why did we have to do this? I would love to give the Oilers the benefit of the doubt when it comes to doing their due diligence on him, but I cannot because we are always in on the scummiest people when they become available. And I know that some of them have extenuating circumstances, but all of them? Do we have to be in on all of them? It comes across a little bit undiscerning and perhaps a tad opportunistic, if you're asking me. And I know Stan Bowman, he does seem apologetic. I'll give him that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's nice that he appears to have the consent of Kyle Beach to do this. Although we haven't actually heard from Kyle Beach himself, just a lot of people speaking for him. And we actually haven't heard from John Doe 2 or the high school students. So there's other stakeholders in this scenario that have not been consulted. And yeah, it just leaves me with a kind of a bitter taste in my mouth. And it's all for this GM who's mid at best. Probably worse than that. Sad for Panarin. I think he let Forsling walk.
He did.
And the Seth Jones signing. Oh my God. Why is this guy worth it? I just don't get it. I just don't.
I'm with you, man. That's, to me, I don't get it. I don't understand. The results don't match the baggage, don't match the noise. I'm with you. I got no notes. That one's from Riley. DA is back. DA, what do you got to say?
Hey, BM. It's DA calling you again.
What's up, man?
This will be my third message I've left you. We'll see if it makes it on the right show or if you're already recording it or not. But I had to hop on the call because of this Stan Bowman hiring. Like, what the fuck is Jeff Jackson doing? Like, why did it have to be Stan Bowman? And, you know, even in the press conference, they were saying, you know, most likely Stan Bowman is going to have Jeff Jackson sign off on anything before anything happens. But if that was the thing from the start, why the fuck did we think that hiring Stan Bowman was a good idea for this organization? And really the thing that'll really piss me off if this goes right, if Draisaitl's camp looks at this, because I remember back when at the end of the season when they were talking about whether or not Draisaitl was going to resign, his whole camp was talking about how they wanted to wait and see who the GM was.
Yep.
Before they got into in-depth talks about re-signing Draisaitl. And if I was Jeff Jackson, why the fuck would you put that in jeopardy to hire Stan fucking Bowman and jeopardize losing one of the two best players in the world? Anyways, that's all I have to say. Little pissed off about it, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, if I assume that the conversations with Draisaitl had already started before Stan Bowman, regardless of what his camp says. I get it. I get why they wouldn't want to sign something, but I'm guessing Jeff Jackson's doing a bunch of the work on this one. Now, whether or not Leon wants to be a part of the Stan Bowman show or not remains to be seen. But if that, for some reason, extension does not go through and the Oilers lose one of or both of their best players because they don't want to sign extensions, Jeff Jackson will be vilified in this city in a way that I cannot even imagine. I can't even imagine it. But I'm thinking that the conversations have probably already started. I'm guessing that he's already down the road, Bowman or not. But we'll see. Obviously, I don't know anything about anything. I'm just guessing. But DA, I think your frustration and your anger about the move is shared by many, so I don't think you're alone in that at all. It's confusing. It's weird. I don't have answers for you. I got nothing for you. I don't. Nick, you're up.
Hey, BM. So the Oilers have hired Stan Bowman, and oh boy, people are not happy about it.
I said yesterday, I don't know that I've ever seen so much united rage ever. I read, 30, 40, like 20, 30 comments off the Instagram page yesterday during the show, and they didn't stop today. I can tell you that much.
I'll be honest, I don't love this move either. I don't. I will say I don't feel as strongly about it as other people do. I know there's people raising hell on the internet right now. People want heads to roll. They want Daryl Cates to sell the team. I wouldn't go and say I'm that outraged by this move, mostly because, it kind of came out that Stan Bowman and the organization, they consulted with Kyle Beach and Sheldon Kennedy was in on this process, and both of them gave their approval. I think that speaks volumes about it, and there's nothing for me really to say on that. I personally just think Stan Bowman's track record is fucking terrible. He is not a good general manager. And I don't get this absolute PR suicide this team is putting itself through for a general manager. I don't get it. This is just, surely there was some assistant GM somewhere who surely would have been better than this. What the fuck is going on? I don't get this at all. Makes no goddamn sense.
No notes, Nick. That's where I'm at. I'm not selling Daryl Cates to sell the team or anything like that, but I'm confused that there was nobody that could fit the bill other than a guy who traded Artemi Panarin for Brendan Saad. Left Forsling walk. Somebody else said it. It's true. If you look at, I don't remember the link off the top of my head, but it's the gmtradetracker.com or something like that, something adjacent. If you Google it, you'll find it. If you go to Stan Bowman's page, you'll flip through and flip through and flip through and go, where are the good ones? There's not many. If you watch Chicago Blackhawks fans' reaction to this on social media yesterday, they go, you guys are fucked. And it reminds me a lot of when Peter Chiarelli came over from Boston after he got fired. He didn't have the baggage Stan Bowman did, but he did have a team full of, a former team full of fans that reached out and said, you guys are fucked. And we all know what happened with Pistol Pete. Didn't go well.
Mate, I got to say, I feel really seen and validated after listening to the RSB. The juxtaposition of my two messages was obviously fucked. It was pretty shit to talk about a serious one and then, go straight into the other one from a few days ago. But anyway, mate, yeah, like I said, world's leading expert, subject matter expert, as I'm known in some cases at work. But outside of work, this is probably the only area I'm a subject matter expert. The best beer.
Yes, please.
Drink. Now, I love a lot of beer. Obviously, I like a good lawn mowing beer, or lawn care beer, lawn watering beer. I like good shower beers are kind of overrated, just FYI.
Disagree. Shower beers are elite. If you are going out for a night with the boys, or in my case, the last shower beers I was having were pre-playoff game shower beers. They set the tone for the evening. I disagree with you on that, Dukes.
I have a couple of beers in the bath. That's nice, whatever.
I don't remember the last time I had a bath. What do you think about that, Dukes? I could not tell you the last time I had a bath. I'm going to go ahead and say, I'm trying to think of the last time I got injured. I'm going to say 7 years ago was the last bath I had.
I make terrariums now, whatever the fuck they are.
I saw that. You're making terrariums on TikTok. I saw that. How are they going? Send me updates. I'm curious. I'm fascinated by you.
A new thing. I like drinking beer while I do that.
That does
I drink a lot of beer when I play Madden. But that's, probably not hot. But anyway, to get to the point, the best beer to drink in hot weather. Are you ready? Everyone get your pens.
Go ahead.
The best beer to drink in really hot weather to help you deal with the cold, the hot and feel more cold is fucking all of them. Just drink all your beers.
All of them.
All the beer. Drink the fuck out of your fucking beers, you silly cunts.
It's so sharp. So sharp when he says it. My goodness.
Even Satan thinks it's a little much. Goodness gracious. It's the hard C and the hard T at the end of it. It's such a sharp word. Coming out of his mouth. Come on. I feel like he's emptying his fridge of beers all the time.
Ben, what do you got to say?
We'll also be watching Bowman quite closely because of all the stuff he did. So let's not be too quick to critique him. But stuff he did is still wrong.
What are we talking about? I think that something did not come through there, Benjamin. Sounds like I got the tail end of a message or you were like Donkey Volley and you were doing an homage to Donkey Volley where your batteries were dying. That's what that sounded like. Anonymous caller, is it Dukes again?
Also, this is probably more of a real life thing. Although it makes me realize that, I really like this outlet of, voicemails to bag milk.
Yeah.
But I also makes me wish that, Chalmers had a voicemail, but then also, Wanya needs one and then was, and then fuck, I don't know. Give every kind of voicemail. But just going back to real life the other day, and I might try and get him this message before Better Late Than Never comes out so he can, whatever. But how he's talking about, letting his kids get a bit rough and whatever because it's a good life lesson and he wants to know,
Are you going to repeat the same message?
For the sake of his children's development,
Why do you leave that twice? Or did I play that already? You want to beat up Chalmers' kids? Did you forget you left that voicemail? Where was the other one? I swear you already did this. I know sometimes I zone out even though it's my own podcast and I should be paying attention instead of scrolling Instagram, but I swear we just did this conversation. Dukes, are you okay? Do you remember that you're speaking to me? Just checking in on you.
G'day, Bag Milk. I'm a first-time listener, first-time caller.
Thank you.
Just watching. I'm currently not in the room, but on the screen I can see in the distance Liam and was at Sherwood
Power Sports and Marine.
whatever the fuck it is. If you want,
it's really bleeding through in the audio too, Dukes. It doesn't sound great, but I'm going to continue on with you.
If you like sports and power, I don't know, go and buy some power sports from Sherwood. But yeah, fuck, mate. I think that we're all lucky to live in the same, be fans of this team in the same timeline, the same generation as McDavid, Draisaitl or whatever. But like, honestly, I think the most slept on thing is like, I just want people to like stop and actually take in the fact that they are lucky enough to exist on this planet the same time as fucking was. Like, we get to experience Wozniak. Gretz is just walking past eating his dog biscuits, like almost passive aggressively. So like, I'm not actually in a, I don't know, whatever the fuck that sounds like, machine. But yeah, if my citizenship visa, whatever, gets denied, can Carson Was just adopt me, please?
Yep. I think that that's a great idea. I think if Waz is going to have a child, the best way that he should have one is a large adult son. I think that makes sense. I mean, did you listen to the episode yesterday, hearing those two wander around a dollar store? They got plenty to teach you. They got plenty to teach you. Liam, what do you got to say?
Hey, Bag Milk. I just started watching that new collectible show, The Golden Touch or whatever it's called.
Yeah, go ahead.
That thing is incredible. I watched the entirety of the 2 seasons in a day. Like, I turned it on, and next thing I knew, it was 10 o'clock at night. Just seeing everything, like all the collectibles, is just incredible. Anyways, on a darker note, I just don't understand that Stan Bowman signing.
Yeah, that's weird.
Whatever it's called, making him a GM. I don't know how much I can support the team anymore. Like, I'll still watch the games, but I'm not going to go to any. Not going to buy any merch. It's just disgusting, honestly. I know some people who have experienced that sort of thing, like the abuse, and just what the Oilers did, like to sign him, that's just unacceptable. Anyways, bye.
I think that we touched on it a little bit earlier. I think that there's probably a large segment of Oilers fans who probably got triggered in a very real way by what happened yesterday. I think that a lot of people experience things and live with it in silence that probably feel alienated by the team they loved. And that's really, really disappointing because I think it was, as Ari said earlier, it's an unforced error. There was no need for it. There was other options. You don't have to have the same group of 12 guys circling the league over and over again. 12 is an exaggeration, you know that. But yeah, Liam, I think a lot of people feel the way that you do. And I think there's a lot of people who got alienated by their favorite sports team yesterday. And I don't know what it'll take for the organization to rebuild that relationship if they can. And I don't blame those people either. It's a confusing one. It's a confusing one to say the least. Let's close out the voicemail from the Oilers Nation Open with one last voicemail. Dukes, is this you again?
Good afternoon. Anyway, I better fucking just get into it because, you haven't heard enough of me this episode.
There's a lot of you. I like it.
Anyway, watching Oilers Nation every day with Liam and Waz. About 46 minutes in.
Your new dad, by the way, Waz is adopting you. We're going to file the paperwork.
Mate, they are two of the biggest beauties this planet has ever produced. But I digress. I don't know if have you ever heard of this guy Tyler Yaremchuk?
Nope, never heard of him.
Apparently, he's
as far as I know, the guy did not. He's uninvited me to the wedding, according to Satan.
It's true. It's coming. You watch. And when that happens and you get uninvited from that wedding, you don't come crying to Satan because you've already sold your soul to me to look like a teenager despite the fact that you're almost 40. You've already made your bed, motherfucker. Now it's time to sleep in it.
pretty big deal. You know, he's on vacation right now, and he's like, he works fucking hard, and I think everyone who's a fan or a absorber of fucking Nation, I don't know, whatever you want to. Anyway, every cunt who knows Tyler knows he fucking works hard and he deserves his time off, and no one should begrudge him for that because we all need a break. But motherfucker, why did you spend 2 weeks saying, I've got my mic in case something happens? When like something happens and like where the fuck are you at, man? Like, you know, Connor McDavid could retire and I wouldn't expect Tyler to break his holiday. But the fact that like you fucking told us you would, but you did like
It's true, he did. He said if something happens, something big happens, he's got his microphone and he'll jump on and do something. He did say that, Dukes, didn't he? Where was he yesterday? Big news yesterday, Tyler. Big news yesterday. Where were you? Avoiding the grind. That's what he does best. It's even in his Twitter bio. The voicemail episode was brought to you by the Oilers Nation Open. Go to nationgear.ca, submit your team, help us raise a little bit of money for Gregor's Grads. It's a great day, it's a great cause, and it's a great way to play hooky on a Friday. Nationgear.ca, you could submit a team of 4, or you can register as a single. You can register as 2 singles if you want. That's a double. We'll match you up together. Don't worry about it. Go to nationgear.ca. This baby is going to sell out. And if you already joined, if you've already signed up, if you've already got a team in the tournament, I look forward to seeing you. The countdown is on. We're just over a month away from the 7th annual Oilers Nation Open. I'm very, very excited about it. And there you go. We wrapped up a voicemail episode in a tasty little minute or hour and 15 minutes of content. 2 podcasts from Bag Milk. Well, actually, more than that. I do more than just this one. But, 2 episodes of BLTN. Thank you guys for being here. Appreciate the voicemails. Appreciate the engagement. Keep sending them in. Dukes, that means you too. Remember what I said. Your job to host the show. I just want to push the buttons. I want to take the weekend off. Good? Good. Talk soon. We will talk. Well, unless there's an emergency podcast to do, talk to you next Wednesday.
Why won't you kiss me?